Hi, I'm Jeremy Lazarus. Welcome to this video. I'm going to be covering 7 questions that I always ask my clients before the very first coaching session, before I start working with them. Now, if you're a professional coach, you might find this handy. Equally, if you're a line manager who's taken a coaching approach with your team, you may find some, if not all of these questions, certainly some of them you'll find useful. So, 7 questions. The first one is, what do you want? What are your goals? What do you want to achieve? Obviously, it's important for you as the coach to know what your client or your colleague wants, and it's certainly important for them to know. The second question is, how will you know when you've achieved it? So the first one is, what do you want? The second one is, how will you know when you've achieved it? Now, sometimes that question is awfully obvious, and sometimes it can give greater distinctions and greater clarification and clarity as to what the goal actually is, or the goals are. So the third question is, what will achieving this goal get for you or allow you to do? How will it benefit you as the client? That can often provide an insight to them and to you, perhaps about the goal beyond the goal, and it certainly can improve or increase motivation to actually achieve it. The fourth question to ask is, what are the positive consequences for you of achieving the goals and the benefits of the goals? So the answers to questions 1 and 3, what are the positive consequences for you, the client? Now, you may find that some of the replies are similar to what has already been answered. And again, you may find there's greater clarity or motivation because the client is really clear what the positives are for them. Next question is, what, if any, are the negative consequences? It's important that you as the coach know if there are any negatives and what they are. Let me give you an example. I was coaching a triathlete several years ago. Very successful lady. She had a very good career. She had a relationship, had a big social life, and she wanted to run the Ironman in a really excellent time. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Ironman takes place, I think, once a year in Hawaii. It finishes with a marathon. So they do something like 112 kilometers swimming, 2.4 kilometer bike ride, and then a marathon. It takes about 10 hours to do. So you can imagine the amount of training that's required to do that in a good time. For her, she realized that in achieving that goal, there would be some negatives. For example, she wouldn't be able to devote as much time to her work. She wouldn't be able to devote as much time perhaps to her partner or to her friends and people in her social circle. So in realizing that, she was able to make some adjustments to her life. She spoke to her boss and they agreed that she could go on to a 4-day week temporarily. As long as she got the key bits of her work done, he was fine with that. She spoke to her partner, who happened to be a triathlete as well. They agreed to do some of the training schedules together so that they would at least see each other. And she spoke to her friends and sort of said, look, I ain't going to see too much of you for the next few months. When I get back from Hawaii, we'll go out for a big celebration. And of course, her friends who really loved her and wanted her to succeed, they were fine with that. So whilst there were some, in theory, negatives, the fact that she knew about them and the fact that we knew about them meant that I could support her to take action to overcome or mitigate those negatives, so they didn't get in the way of her achieving what she really wanted to achieve. So question number 6 is, what has stopped you or what could or might stop you from achieving this goal? This is really useful because it can give you an insight as to perhaps some of the thinking about the client may have about their goal. Maybe they've got some limiting beliefs, or maybe there are some really practical challenges. Whatever it might be, it can help you as the coach to help your client to overcome any real or perceived blocks or challenges, and therefore it would mean that the client or your client or colleague would be more likely to achieve the goal. And the final question is, what would you like from me as your coach? So do you want me to really hold you to account? Do you want me to really encourage you? What do you want from me? And the answer to that question gives you, the coach, some kind of insight as to how best to approach the client. So there you are, those 7 questions. My tip, if you're a professional coach, is to ask each of these before you start working with someone. If you're a line manager, take some of the questions that you find useful and ask those. If you'd like to find out more about this, then click on the link that you'll find in the description below this video. If you'd like to hear about my new videos as soon as they're released, then click on the subscribe button. And I'd really appreciate it if you would click the like button so that it would be easier for others to find the information too. And of course, click on the share button so that your friends on social media can watch this video. Finally, if you have any questions about anything whatsoever related to this video, please contact me. Thanks very much indeed.